Hi, my name is Kyle. I bought this 20-year-old tractor off Facebook Marketplace for $200. Come along as we diagnose it, repair it, and list it right back on Marketplace for resale to make a profit. Well, welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Kyle. The channel is called Kyle by the Creek. Believe it or not, 2004 was 20 years ago. I have to say though, this tractor looks like it's in great shape. So that's why I bid on it. I think he wanted something like 400, but I offered 200 and he said yes. Obviously you can see it came with a bagger, and we are late summer here, so I'm definitely looking for machines with baggers to sell. So this was supposed to be a running machine, garaged, and needed a battery is what he said. He said it won't start. Needs a battery. Besides that, everything is complete. So yeah, I jumped on this because it seems like a good deal. So when we get there, we take a look at the machine, and you know, nice 18.5 horsepower Intech, and he turns the key and the thing starts spinning over, and then we try to get it to start because I didn't really expect that. And he found out that he had the fuel off, so he turned on the fuel down there with the fuel switch, and all of a sudden this thing fired off. So yeah, I was still offering 200, so I got out of there with 200 with a running machine that I sort of drove up my ramps so I could take it home. But yeah, let's see if it starts. So yeah, that's what I was doing when I tried to load it on the ramps. That's why I say I kind of loaded it on the ramps. Blades were spinning pretty good, and yeah, saw some sparks flying, and we shut down the machine and pushed it up ourselves. But yeah, the belt is sticking or whatever's going on there. The brakes aren't working, so I got to look into that. But yeah, from this side, this thing looks pristine, doesn't it? Well, take a look at the hole in this mowing deck here. It's good and rotted out right there. Almost looks like it must have been some sort of object or rock that fired through there and rotted out more as time went on. But yeah, metal's looking pretty thin there. It's definitely gonna need some repair. Probably gonna have to weld that. But you know, if you think about it, 200 bucks, anyone who has a Harbor Freight welder is like, yeah, we can get that done. And I definitely have a Harbor Freight welder, so I think we'll clean this thing up pretty good. I think we'll make a pretty nice profit too. Yeah, doing some funny things. I was just trying to mow with it a little bit. It bogs down pretty good as soon as you hit anything significant, but it doesn't necessarily feel like it's the engine's fault. It feels like a belt scenario down there isn't great. That belt is all, I don't know what's going on with that belt. It's a really weird, almost like it's backwards. Yeah, like the V is sticking out. That's very strange. Anyway, also seems like that it's missing an engine bolt. That sort of knocking sound you get. I don't know. Sort of see the engine, you know, twisting a little bit, like the engine bolts are a little loose. Wow, that's on there tight. looked like 2-cycle gas because it's such a weird color, but I don't know. Looks clear there. Yeah, I got some things to figure out, but pretty nice machine overall. It's been a little while since I've revisited this machine. As you can tell, there are more leaves down on the ground now, but since this has a bagger, if I can finish this up, it will probably sell. People like baggers as leaves are coming down. Instead of raking, you know, you can mow over your leaves and collect them that way. So I think the goal today after work, I'm not gonna be able to get a ton done, but I'd like to get this mowing deck off and inspect it and go from there. We're gonna have to probably purchase some metal, some steel, so we can patch up that mowing deck, but let's get it off first so we can get a good look at it. Mowing deck looks a little bit different. There's actually like a front connector there. It doesn't go all the way to the front of the axle, or like in front of the axle like I've seen most. Tell you what though, it does look a little easier. Usually these style MTDs where you lower the deck and when you lower it, it engages. Those are usually a pretty complicated system under here. But hopefully this is kind of easy. I'll do my best to film it so you guys might learn how to do it if you get one of these. So this plate in the rear is what I'm used to seeing, but I think this is a lot better of a design. You have a bracket that comes down from the frame and connects into that lower part, where normally that would be, on the older ones, that would be a pin that would go all the way through, and it doesn't connect to the frame up here. So you got a little clip there where my pinky's hitting. That's got to come out. Same on the other side. And I think that's going to be the easiest way to undo the rear of the deck. And then the front is really just this, which is a lot like the Craftsman's in the rear, where it has that, like, you know, horizontal brace. But now this is in the front, and then of course you have the belt and everything. But I think that's it. I can tell that we do have the brake shoes here on both sides, so I know the deck was spinning when the blades were disengaged, so you know, this just might need to be adjusted, bent down a little bit or something. Obviously we'll look into all that. Let's see if we can get this removed though. I'm on the other side of the machine now. I can't get this one loose, so I'm gonna try to get a crowbar in there. Can't really get any leverage either. Not much to dig into, but might just bash it out. Try from the other side, maybe strike it. I got the pin out, so this should just come right out. How's this for footage? You can't see, I can't see, but just try to hit it. There we go. See? My crowbar worked. That just came out. That's easy enough. Everything comes loose now. Okay. Oh, what are we still connected to? Oh, okay, we do have more. Two more. These two lifters. They're buried in the grass, but I see how they work now. So I get those out too. All right. So it's a bit more complicated, but honestly, those are pretty easy to get to. All right, immediately I can see this mowing deck is in worse shape than I thought. Got a fair amount of rot here. Here too. And here. You know what? I don't know if this is savable. Wow. This is in pretty bad shape. Look at that. That's not good, guys. Plus you got the big blowout right there. Man. And this is a weird mowing deck. You know, sometimes you can just like find a replacement, but that's a weird setup right there. I can't say I've ever seen that before. Huh. I gotta think about this. Well, luckily the spindles are still held on by a bolt and some metal. Now check out the part that rotted out right here. Right in between the bolt holes. So all 4 points are secured. You know, maybe you could patch that. Big holes here, lots of them. Yeah, rot holes there. I mean, I don't know. I'm like trying to convince myself that this is savable, but I don't think it is. The bearings are shot, so we would need to do all new bearings too. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be able to save this one. I mean, these are not easy to weld on anyway. It's all so thin and rusted and flaking, and boy, this, you know, this mowing deck didn't look so bad on the outside, but yeah, it's pretty shot. Yeah, this mowing deck didn't look so bad on the outside, but man, it's pretty shot. I don't know, what's your guys' assessment here? What would you do? I mean, you know, the guy was mowing with it, right? So it's like, yeah, it probably functions. Yeah, you can just slap it back on the machine and sell it, right? I just don't think that's a great idea. Well, it's months later, and let me show you what I got today. All right, finally got a replacement mowing deck. Let me get them both side by side and I'll explain more. Carmen's doing some inspection here. That's some serious inspection. Right on top. That's the new one, Carmen. Is the new mowing deck gonna work? Oh, she spotted my son way over there. You probably can't see him. Who's that? Good girl. She's locked in. All right. Well, here's the old one, all rotted out. I deemed it completely unusable. And I tell you what, it's been kind of difficult finding the right mowing deck, basically mainly because of this. This is a unique hookup for these. You don't see a lot of that. Normally they look something like this. So this is a 42 inch. There are a lot of 38 inch and 46 inch MTD mowing decks out there. And I really resisted the urge to buy a whole tractor just to get the deck, so I really slow played this one. But 3 minutes from my house, like just up the road, someone was selling an old, I don't even know, it was an MTD. It had a 10 horsepower Briggs on it. It was really old, and he wanted 40 bucks for all of it. He had the deck off, and I said, I'll give you 40 bucks for the deck. So I swung by today and picked it up. But so what are the differences? Well, this one doesn't have that front mount, and this one has like a double bracket, which most of them have. So look here how this one only has the single bracket. See? And of course it has this front mount. Now, the front mount, I should be able to easily transfer that over to here. You know, I just zip it off, weld it back on. That should be pretty easy. Carmen, you're in the way. Good pup. And this double mount, I'm not too worried about it yet. I'm gonna do some measuring, like the distance between these two and see if that's correct. I basically, what I'm thinking is I can just ignore these outside bracket holes and we just don't need it. If I can't ignore them, then I figure I could zip these brackets off and weld them on. I think that will be a little bit more difficult, but I don't think I'm going to need to do that. I think it's going to work out. So let's do a little bit of measuring here and make sure. All right, so here's the original mowing deck. I just removed the belt so we can take a look here. So basically this bracket is 10 inches, you know, it's like it's 8.5 from hole to hole, you know, 10 inches total. That's quite different from this one. So this is 9 inches for the bracket, 7.5 hole to hole. So if I'm going to use that one, I need to get an inch, you know, towards the front of the machine. Basically, I have to get this whole setup to be 1 inch this way, which I think is possible. What about this side? That'd be harder. I don't think I'm moving that one at all because of the way that bracket is set up. So, you know, part of me was thinking I could just zip this off and then move it and re-weld it, but now I'm looking at this thing and there's no room to make that travel. So does this whole bracket need to get transferred over there? Kind of looks that way. Are you eating old grass? You think that's funny?
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. I gotta figure this out though. Okay, so before I get too carried away cutting things off and welding, I mean, I should just try this, right? Because maybe I should put it under the tractor is what I'm saying, because I wonder if there's some adjustments with the linkages, and that might just make everything a lot easier. Just adjusting the linkages underneath. Yeah, so let's not get carried away. Let's give it a shot first. So here's what we have, you know, these four, and this one has some adjustability, but the rest of them don't. So yeah, I don't know. It's, again, like I said, worth a shot. There's that thing. That bracket's connected already. Real high-tech maneuver here. Just kick it, shove it. Some people have a nice fancy shop. I don't know. I just do things on the grass. Especially when there's projects in the shed. Can't let it slow us down. I'll get this thing under here. Well, I've been fiddling with it here. I do have the deck mounted. Now I don't have the belt on it. I wasn't trying to mess around with that. So I will at some point show you how I got this thing on here. I'm just not convinced yet that this is correct. So it does go down, but it doesn't seem to want to go down all the way on this side. It gets a little bound up. There we go. See, you have to give it like a little extra love. All right, now coming back up, you have to really pull on it. So that's a little bit too much, I think. I don't know what's going on there, why it's doing that, but it actually seems halfway decent. I do think it needs this cross member here that would connect here, and that would stabilize the front. Obviously a belt would stabilize it a little bit too, but only when it's mowing. So it really does, I guess, need that. But I did get all four to connect here, and I'll have to show you how I did this, but yeah, I'll do that another time. But all right, well, I guess it's worth possibly taking it apart to put the belt on, and maybe I can figure out why it's binding up a bit. All right, I was able to get the belt on there, without taking the deck off. Just had to undo the front two brackets, front two mounts. I was able to slip the belt on no problem, so that's kind of nice. Belt seems like it might be like a 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch too big, but I need to get the belt keepers on here. Those are on this deck at least, so those will have to get transferred over. All right, I got the jump pack on. I have not started this thing in months, and I do want to see what happens when I engage the blades, so let's give this a try. There's no blades. So that's why it sounds a little weird, and that's why it's not cutting. There's no blades down there. That somehow works. That's pretty crazy. So that was a pretty good test, but I think I'm going to go ahead and remove this mowing deck right now. You know, it also needs the rear wheels on it, needs the blades. We have to do that front bracket. We're going to have to do the belt keepers as well. This grass deflector is much nicer too, so we can steal that. But yeah, let's start taking the good stuff off of this, including that. And if I'm going to do some welding, I'm definitely going to want that thing off the machine. We're getting cozy in the shed here with the propane heater. Still got the 97 Craftsman here. Just finished that video the other day. Alright, we're going to take off the blades from this old mowing deck. It's on there. Alright. Never actually seen that shape. Pretty interesting, but it fits the star spindle shaft. Heavy duty blades. These are in great shape. Turns out we had one wheel, so we're just missing this one. I grabbed that from the old mowing deck. So I stripped this old mowing deck from everything that I wanted, you know, including these brackets, just in case. I don't think I'm going to use them, but I would have hated it if someone took this thing for scrap, and really what I needed were those brackets. So got this one cut off and all cleaned up. That is ready to be welded. Got this grass deflector, got the wheels, and you know, everything that I need off that, the belt covers. So yeah, this is going to the side of the road where everything metal that I don't want just goes away like that. All right, got the Harbor Freight welder out. We're all set up to try to get this bracket on here, and yeah, I'll film it and we'll see how it comes out. Well, it's the next day after work, and you know, the nozzle of this thing collapsed on itself or melted or whatever. I don't know. It was the original tip, so I had to run out to Harbor Freight and get some more of these contact tips. So now I have a bunch of them. That's good, because you know, the welder didn't come with any extra. So that was my fault for not being prepared on that, but I did get some more wire, and obviously you just saw the box of tips here. So I think we're good to go now. We got some more dollar store paint. Now is the brand, and it's spray paint. So yeah, this is gonna go on nice, I bet. Well, it might not be freezing, but it feels like it's 34. It's very close to freezing. Let's see how this paint goes on here. We'll just do a nice quick coat on the whole deck here. Oh yeah. I mean, it's going on great. We'll see how it dries. that is like the definition of tractor flipping right there. Just a real quick and easy paint job. So we're set up a little bit more comfortable in the shed. We got our heater, and I just made a discovery about this mowing deck, and maybe some of you all caught it before I did, but this thing is not a 42-inch mowing deck. This is a 38-inch mowing deck, and the way I discovered it, because I just simply didn't notice it before, they look pretty similar to me, was that the blades didn't fit when I went to go install the blades from the other mowing deck, from the original mowing deck. So what are we going to do here? I think I'm just going to try to proceed and make this one work. I don't really have another option. So yeah, we're going to just look for some blades, maybe eventually, or maybe I'll just hunt through my pile now. I doubt I have any. But, and then, I mean, most importantly, I want to see if this mowing deck fits really well. So, yeah, I know it says 42-inch cut, but we'll just have to advertise it as having a 38. Yep, not ideal. I bet you guys will all hate that, but we're selling machines here, so yeah, sometimes you make compromises. Well, this is not gonna work. I don't even know how I got it to raise and lower the first time and like somewhat operate. I can't figure it out now. And that's not even trying to get this part working, which seemed like it would have needed adjustment anyhow. But I lost all motivation knowing that this is the wrong size deck now. So it's a shame because it's in pretty good shape, but I guess we'll just hang on to it and wait until we need a 38-inch deck. So we're back to the drawing board, and I gotta keep hunting on Facebook Marketplace. I figured I'd throw the camera on here sort of as a last ditch effort. I swapped out the plate here. This is like, I don't really know what to call this piece. That thing here. So this was the plate from the tractor as it stands originally. That plate that's on there now came with the 38-inch deck, and once I put that on, everything sort of slotted into place. That connector went in real easy. This one, I'll show you the other side. Even this lined up perfectly. This one too, that was hard to get in. Actually, that one was impossible to get in before, but now that's in. The belt is definitely the wrong size. You know, this is a 42-inch belt on a 38-inch deck, so that explains that. The other issue is this seems to be the absolute highest I can get it, which is one notch short there. You know, I can just, without sitting on the machine, that's as high as I can get that. So I don't know what's up with that. That's not ideal. I mean, if it stops the blades, then it's fine, but not exactly what you want. I guess all that to say is maybe I'm not done with this thing. Maybe I'm going to try to make this 38-inch deck work. It does look pretty nice. Still would need to have to find blades. So yeah, I guess I'm just sort of throwing on the camera to document this in case it turns out. All right, another update. I did find a belt that fits. So this is in mow position. And I know it's a bit of a struggle, but if I get this up here, then the belt is slack. So, I don't know, that's something. Another step towards progress here. Well, everyone, it's been a minute. It's actually the day after Christmas right now, and yeah, we got some snow on the ground when this video first started. It was the end of summer, and yeah, I had to go back and look at the footage that I've recorded to see where we're at with this project. So I was able to, last you saw, I got the 38-inch mowing deck installed. I found the correct belt, It does seem to operate. I have no blades under there. I have no blades attached to the spindles on the deck, but the blades did come in now, so I can install those. I do have one little clearance issue. If I go, you guys know, I've showed this. Like, I have trouble getting this thing all the way up. I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but it was a struggle to get it into this second highest notch. But when I do that, it grinds. The drive pulley touches that crossbar stabilizer that we had to weld that bracket on. I'll show you. I'll try to demonstrate that for you so you can see where I'm at with this project. You might be able to see a little sparking under there when I finally get that up into the second highest notch position. But we're going to make an alteration, bend that bracket back just a little bit under there, and that should allow us to possibly get as high as that. I don't know if we'll ever be able to get all the way up because it's the wrong deck for the machine, but all I really want is for the belt to stop spinning and for the belt to start spinning when I lower the deck. If we find out where that is, then this can be good to go. I've already disabled the blade safety, so that isn't a problem. You guys hate when I disable safeties. I get it. I'm going to obviously advertise that if that's my solution, and you know, that might lower the price of this unit. Some people don't care about that stuff. Some people hate safeties. You have to understand it's a used piece of equipment. Whoa. Alright, it's hydrolocking a bit. This thing, the fuel just flooded into the engine as it sat for several weeks or months, whatever it was. So there's way too much liquid in this engine. So yeah, that is one of the things I have to solve immediately, but just, yeah, now we filled up with smoke here. But yeah, I wanted to show you that. So hopefully you saw some spark action under there, and we'll fix that. We'll fix the flooded engine, and we'll get going with this project, I think. All right, plenty of clearance now. Hopefully you can see that. It's like 3/8 of an inch, but you know, that's in the second highest locking position, so it was grinding before, so that's a lot better. Yeah, okay, so that's how flooded that was. Let's see if I can make this happen. Well, oh, this thing cracked. We're in trouble here. Okay. Yeah, that was a bit of an emergency. Well, nothing we can't clean up. Okay, we got our gasoline and oil spill cleaned up. Got a new Fram filter on there. We're gonna add some fresh oil. I'm going to take off the hood. We're going to get into the carburetor because obviously our needle and seat are not working as they should. So we at least owe it a cleaning, and then we'll fire it back up, test my adjustment that I made on that bracket, make sure we're not seeing any sparks again. If that's all successful, then we'll go ahead and put on the blades. Like I said, they came in, here they are. Okay, and then we'll see if this thing can mow some snow. Just kidding, we're just gonna see if it works. And we're then pretty close to finishing, especially if we get the whole service done on the engine right now. It'll just be a matter of buttoning everything up. Let's get our file down 13mm wrench. Slips in between the bowl and the shutoff. that looking there? Ooh, very grimy. Starting to form some rust in there. Doesn't look super clean. Yeah, down there is definitely a little bit grimy and rusty. So obviously what we're really trying to check is fuel inlet and how, you know, if it's holding any air pressure when you blow into it, or if air is seeping by. We use air, you know, just to test it. You blow into it. Obviously liquid is what you're trying to hold back when the float is in this closed position. And you can hear, you know, when you blow, you can hear air seeping past it if that needle isn't working right, or if the seat is damaged or something like that. So we'll clean this up and we'll test all that. Alright, so I did a carb clean. I don't know how much of that footage you saw. Seemed like the camera shut off. Still having problems in the cold here. But yeah, I'm satisfied with the carb. It's been sitting here not leaking. We had a little fuel leak at one of the lines right here when I damaged it, taking it off. But needle and seat seem to be good. Obviously you saw me do the oil change. Let's start it up. I had it running just a second ago, but we'll show you guys. Yeah, I'm very happy with the way it's running right now. And we have the belt stopping at what's now the highest position on the deck, height adjuster. You know, love to have it be that one, but it just simply isn't that. With this 38-inch deck, I guess that's where it lands as the highest position. But really what I wanted was, you know, when you move it off of that highest position, it engages the blades, and that's what happens. And when you move it back to its highest position, the belt stops. So, you know, that's what you want to happen when you're mowing. You want to be able to stop the blades if you want them stopped. So we still have no blades underneath here, so that's why it kind of sounds very quiet when it is engaged. But I didn't want to attach them until we had it relatively safe. So now it's good to go. I don't know if I showed you guys this, but I did bypass the blade safety. So that's the blade safety connector, and that's how I bypassed it. So yeah, I'm gonna make that more permanent, and like I said, I'll just advertise that when I sell it, that it has no blade safety. And if that's a big problem for someone, then they won't buy it. But you know, there'll be a buyer out there, especially with this thing. If it's working right and cutting well, it's got the bagger, it'll sell. We'll find a price for it, and there'll be a buyer out there. Okay, we're just about ready to get this thing lifted up on the chain hoist, and just installed some LED lights up here, replaced my fluorescents, so hopefully things are looking a little better in here. It's definitely brighter, not a massive improvement, but biggest problem for me was this one just liked to stop working when it was the fluorescent one up there. So anyway, a lot of times we were in the dark on this angle. But yeah, we're gonna get the front end lifted up, install some blades, test some things out. While I'm under there, I'm going to look to see if there is an engine mounting bolt that's loose, because everything seems fine, but when you start and shut off the engine, it just seems to like knock around a little bit. Can't quite figure it out because I can't really do it by hand. But it just might be the strength of the motor. So I'm going to look into that to see what's going on there. Hopefully we can solve that noise. I don't know. Besides that, if this thing looks like the blades are working correctly, we're just about done for the video. Obviously, like everything else, there's going to be some springtime testing to make sure this is all good. But as far as repairs and filming goes, we're going to potentially wrap this up. Oh, and to just tuck in like a little Easter egg here, that Aaron snowblower from my snowblowers video. We're working on the flywheel. I'm doing some JB Weld epoxy now. And gonna let that set up for a while. And hopefully those two magnets will be in place and we'll have spark again on that machine. Anyhow, let's get back to this. Get the chain hoist down and we'll hook it up. Okay, we have our 38-inch mowing blades now. Get these opened up here. Kept the nuts for that, so that's good that we hung on to those. All right, they fit now. There we go. And just to show you under here, all 4 engine mounting bolts were loose. Just a little bit, but significantly loose. So yeah, that definitely could have been the issue with rattling around under there. That's so much better with the engine. No shaking. don't think we've seen this thing with its bagger on since the day we got it. Guys, I'm gonna call this project done. I'm a little surprised that it wrapped up so quick. I mean, once we got the right size blades and I kind of figured out the deck and that one interference issue, then it was just a matter of doing a quick carb clean and dumping all that oil that was mostly gasoline. But yeah, for December 26th, with a little bit of snow on the ground in Connecticut, I'm calling this finished. I think you can hopefully see the positive here and how nice this is going to clean up in the spring. The whole condition of this tractor is quite nice. The deck that I refurbished, the fact that it's got a bagger and it runs so well, I think this thing is going to do just fine. Quite an old machine, but I love finding garage kept lawn tractors. That is the way to do it. If you guys are new to this or you just want a little bit of advice here or there, if you can, you know, if you're looking through Facebook and you see some images of a tractor inside a garage and it's a decent price, go ahead and buy it, because you know the rubber, the tires are going to be in great shape, the paint and everything is in really nice shape. It just, get the seat even, there's a lot of things that go into it. Where it's garage kept, it is going to generally have a pretty good leg up compared to things that are left outside, like I keep things outside. I just don't have enough storage for all this stuff. Yeah, we got the shroud back on, don't worry. Well, everybody, thanks for watching. I actually didn't think I was going to finish this project today. Just this morning I had uploaded the snowblowers video, and now we have the yard machines project finally done. This one has been months ago that I started this, and have just been waiting for that deck to work out, either stumble upon the correct one or somehow have the patience enough to make this 30-inch deck work. And I think I did that. I don't know if that's necessarily the right route. I really think this thing probably deserves a 42-inch deck, but someone might find themselves in the same scenario I'm in, where your 42-inch deck rots out and the only one you can seem to find, just like me, is a 38-inch deck. And I think we found a way to make it work, a little bit of compromise, but I think it worked out just fine. So I want to thank you guys again for watching. Please support the channel by liking the video, leaving a comment, and then most importantly, subscribe to the channel. I try to produce a video every 2 weeks if I can, you know, once, twice, 3 times a month, you know, when things are going really well. So hopefully you enjoy the start of winter here with tractor content coming out. I know how much you guys love tractor videos, so I'm happy to get some out to you. So I actually have a bunch more tractors that I need to work on, so I think this winter is gonna look like this. I don't have any more snow blowers, just tractors. So hopefully you guys are ready to watch some tractor content throughout the winter months. All right, thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll catch you on the next one.